Today is Thursday, September the 15th, 2016. Today, oh, well, looky right here. We've got a new trailer from Resident Evil 7. Well, actually, not so much a trailer as an updated demo. My name is Razzle. I'm joined by Shake. This is episode 31 of the Prattlecast.
I'm happy you brought up Resident Evil 7
Why?
because I feel like you and I feel very differently about it.
I think that's very true.
Yep. Because I didn't really know anything about it. I just had read on Twitter about your distaste for it. So I was like, you know what? I don't really care about Resident Evil because I don't. I've only played them with you. But I have every intention of getting into the series because you've told me to.
Sure.
And it seems worth it. Seems good enough. If you love it that much, there's got to be something going for it. So to see how unhappy you were on Twitter, I was like, I got to check it out. I watched the trailer. I didn't. Apparently, there's something else where you can see gameplay too for the demo, which I didn't watch. But I watched the trailer for the Bakers, the family thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't. I like the way it looks, and I kind of like how it feels. I don't think it's bad, but then again, I don't know anything about Resident Evil. To me, it just seemed very Texas Chainsaw, like a straight ripoff of Texas Chainsaw. Like that's all I saw was Texas Chainsaw.
No, I think we're going to have a very similar reaction to it, just in a very different way. As far as a horror game, it looks fine. Like it looks like an Outlast.
It looks pretty
game.
generic, though.
I mean,
a lot like other things I've seen, but
it looks like a horror game that's going through a bit of an identity crisis because it doesn't know what it is. The last time we saw footage, or not footage, but the demo thing got released, a lot of people were saying, "Oh well, very very Silent Hill like."
That's what you had said. I never watched it because I didn't care enough.
Yeah, and I said that too. And then this past one came out, and suddenly it's very Hills Have Eyes, Devil's Rejects, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, take your pick. And it's
they're all the same shit. They're all the same garbage.
Yeah, it's the same basic type of look. Granted, we don't know anything about the game right now realistically. I mean, a lot of this stuff could change, but all we really saw from this trailer is a lot of chaos, and then at the very end, the main character is sitting there at a table, and there's a family around him of very out there country type hicks, I guess is the best way you could describe them.
Yeah.
And they're
animated from like 5 years ago. But there's that. I mean, the quality was not, because they were saying it was like a 4K trailer HD, and I'm like, they still look like shit though. Like, this all looks like shit.
It looks like a kind
of... Maybe it's because I don't have a 4K TV. I don't fucking know.
It might be. That's probably what it is, but...
But, like, they just didn't look... Like, I don't know how a 4K can make something that looks like Play-Doh look amazing. I just didn't think that it looked that great.
I mean, to me, the 60 frame per second look, it's not just that it looks bad to me. The thing about it is, I know a game like that is going to make me nauseous. I'm one of those people. Like there are a couple of us out there, but there are a few of us out there who cannot play 60 frame per second video games that have jerky motions without getting nauseous. To give you an example,
that's interesting.
I downloaded and played when it was free, Homefront on Steam this past weekend. And I got about 15 minutes into it before I was ready to just throw up. And I said, I can't do it anymore. So I uninstalled it and said, nope, not for me. I can't play 60 frame per second first person. I should clarify, first person games, 60 frame per second that have jerky motions. And by that, I mean motions that I am not controlling. So you know how a lot of games start off and the character has a camera that's preset on moving this way, then moving
right,
looking around.
Yeah,
that makes me nauseous. I can't watch that.
It's understandable. It's like your body has a disconnect with it.
Yeah,
it's like you can't really process it because you're not making those motions, so your body just reacts like, what's going on? It makes sense. I'm blessed to not have that problem.
And so, but there are a few of us out there. Like sometimes I'll go to forums and I'll sometimes search like such and such game nausea, and I'll see whether or not it's going to be a game that's going to give me any problems. But Homefront definitely is one of them. I could not get very far, so I don't even really have anything to say about that game.
You probably wouldn't be able to do Subnautica either.
I mean, it's
Maybe you could,
possible.
because you are mostly in control, but there are moments where you're not.
I mean, it happens on some, but not all. So I don't know. Some games I'm fine, but I know, like, especially with first person shooters, there's a lot I cannot play because they all go that route where they want to be like super. I don't know what the right word to describe that look is because it looks stupid to me. Like the 60 frame per second look just looks weird. But some people love it. I prefer my 30 to 45 range, you know. I can handle that just fine. I love those. That looks like a good look to me though. It has sort of more of a motion picture like look where it's not completely flowing because when it gets that flowing, it doesn't look realistic to me. It looks very fake. It looks more realistic to me if it's 30 to 45 FPS. But
I don't really have an opinion because I don't
oh my
care.
god.
I
It's
mean,
you know,
like, I don't, maybe it's just because I play, I don't know. I play everything and I bounce around from things so much, it just doesn't matter to me. I mean, as long as I'm having fun.
you could co-host of a podcast. You don't have an opinion? Oh my
That was my opinion. As long as I'm having fun. Like, I don't give a fuck about the frames. I don't have issues with anything. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm an easy sell, man. I'm easy. But we were talking about Resident
yeah.
Evil. As someone who doesn't know much about Resident Evil anyway, I generally, when I like, if I was to walk in on someone playing a game, even though I haven't played much Resident Evil, I could quickly figure out that they were playing Resident Evil without asking. It's one of those games that, like, you can kind of figure it out really quickly. You're like, oh yeah, this is like Resident Evil, right? And you're probably gonna be right. When I saw this, I did not think for a second that this was a Resident Evil game, and the whole time I was like, how does this tie in to Resident Evil and what I've seen and heard in the past? How does this tie into? Because you've built like this huge series, and I don't know how far they've flowed from what they originally did, but I just feel like this isn't Resident Evil at all anymore. Like, they just need to put it under a new name, maybe,
And I think
and do a
that's
new
I think
game.
that's where a lot of it are coming from. I was reading a lot of comments online. Most people really like this direction they're going. And to be fair, I it's hard to really have an opinion on this without actually knowing what this game is going to be. I'm only judging it based on what they've shown us because that's the only thing I have to
Right.
go on. But based on what they've shown us, it's very clear they want to go toward a psychological horror type of game, which I'm already not very interested in. Um,
And we already have masters of that. They're not going to beat it.
yeah, and I
Sorry.
mean the other thing is,
So,
I mean a lot of people are saying no, 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 Resident Evil is returning to its roots with this game. It's totally returning to its roots. And my thing on that is I don't see anything from the roots in what we've seen so far. First of all, I mean I don't know if Resident Evil has ever actually gone first person, other than maybe you can make an argument about the door scenes in the earlier ones where you click on a door and you see the door coming at you and you walk through it. But
that would be about it, though, and that's just a load screen, essentially.
yeah, and the other thing is, I mean, Resident Evil also is about characters too. It's a
Yep.
survival horror series about characters. This is going to be if it's going the direction I think it is. I mean, I don't even remember. Well, I guess Resident Evil Zero didn't, but I was thinking about like Chris and Leon are kind of like the main two protagonists, and then there's Jill as well. So I guess Chris, Jill, Leon. The only one that I can't think of off the top of my head that didn't have those characters as the stars would have been Resident Evil Zero, which focused on Rebecca Chambers, who was also in part one. So it's all tied
Mm-hmm.
together. It's all you got all these characters and these character relationships that go back to the 1990s, and I don't know what they're doing now. I didn't see anything familiar about it, but whatever. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what they come up with. But
Well, I found it interesting at the beginning. You hear this panicked girl on the phone, saying, "Ethan, you were right. If you get this, don't come here."
yeah,
And it's like, I, I was, I don't know, I was turned off by that because I've already seen that before. I play a lot of horror games, and every single thing I saw in this trailer is a ripoff from something else. There's not a single original idea in this trailer. Like, there's nothing, and I haven't seen the demo yet, but I guarantee I'm gonna watch it, and I'm not gonna see anything new that I'm gonna be like, you know what, that's cool. I like that. You're putting me in a situation where I'm surrounded by a psycho family, and they're making me eat some weird fucking pasta that's probably people. Like this is not, none of this is new. And oh yeah, I'm going here because my girlfriend told me not to. Sounds good, champ. Like this is great. This is all so original. No one has ever seen. You don't even need to play horror games to be like, yeah, I know how this story goes. This like you don't need to play the game if this is how it's gonna be. But who knows? Maybe they'll hear all the feedback and either change it again
Well, I mean,
or
the feedback has
release
been
something
mostly
else.
positive, so that's why I'm like,
Which is interesting because I mean maybe these people haven't played horror games. I would just disagree. I don't see how there can be this much positivity around something. I mean, unless they're just really unhappy with the way Resident Evil was, so they want to see it do something different.
you
But if
know,
you're saying this looks like it's going to be a good horror game, I would disagree. It's going to be a copycat of everything else that we've seen.
well, it's like I was saying before. With Resident Evil, you really had these two camps of fans. You have the ones who were big into parts one, two, and three, and then you had the ones who were really big into parts four, five, and six, probably. And arguably, both of those take very different directions. Though a lot of people are comparing the current thing to part four the most. But I think that a lot of the fans who were upset with the most recent entries into the series have mostly been because they wanted it to go back to its horror roots. And while I have no problem with that, I don't really see this as their horror roots. I see this as capitalizing on the current cliche market ideas of first person horror. And I mean, just the very fact that it's in first person is telling me right away that they're taking a big gamble and they're going, you know what? People really didn't like part six, so
Mm-hmm.
let's go the complete opposite direction. People are telling us they like Outlast. People are telling us they like all these other things. Why don't we make Resident Evil like that?
We can only go so far on the jump scare train. I'm sorry. And that's all Outlast was. Outlast was a bunch of cheaply done jump scares. I mean, it was fun to play through and it had a decent story, but it's a jump scare game.
I never
If
played.
Resident Evil wants to do that, we've done it. We have all those. We have Amnesia. We have Outlast. We have all that shit. We don't need any more. But I mean, what group do you fall in when it comes to Resident Evil?
I'm actually of the group that's okay with all of them, which is
I figured you
which
were.
is rare. Like it's very rare to come up to people and say, "Yeah, I love Resident Evil," and they're like, "Oh, which ones did you like?" I'm like, "Well, the only one I really ever had a problem with in that sequence would have been Part Four, only because of the control scheme. That's it. That's the only negative thing I can say about Part Four is the control scheme.
That
Um,
can make or break a game.
Other than
So
that, I mean, I don't really have a problem with Part Four. But no, I mean, I loved Part Five and Six, but I also loved Part
yeah.
One and Two a lot. In fact, I still think Part 2 is my favorite of all of the Resident Evil games, just as a solid game. It was fantastic. Whereas the best co op was definitely Part 6. So to me, it's like, well, I like all of them. I don't really fall into either one of those camps. I like all of these characters. I kind of have somewhat grown up with them. And to watch what they're doing now, I'm like, okay, I mean, that's fine. Do what you want. But why are you calling this Resident Evil? I don't get it, except just to sell it. Maybe it's so bad that they have to put Resident Evil on the
Just to
sticker
hold a brand.
or it doesn't sell. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I can understand you liking all of them. I mean, I fall into that with the Silent Hill games too, and Silent Hill is another community where if you like all of them, there's something wrong with you. They're like, "What do you mean you like all of them? That's impossible." So, I get where you're coming from there, but as far as Resident Evil thinking it's going back to its roots, I mean, I have not I've played the first one, very short amounts of it, but for me when I played it, I felt like even though it's, it doesn't hold up well graphically, but it's like when I was playing it, I felt like I was scared a lot of the time just because of the way they laid out their camera angles and the way they had all of the rooms set up and things like that.
Mhm.
And I really enjoyed like the slow lumbering zombie coming at you. I enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed their use of music and the noises you made walking around. I liked all of that, and I think I loved the camera angles the most because weren't they set camera?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they were set
The
camera.
first few of them were, I think, one, two, and three definitely were all set camera. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
set
remember.
camera scares the shit out of me.
I think Code Veronica might
Like,
have been set camera, but I don't remember. It's been a while since I played Code Veronica, which was supposed to be part three, I believe. Because the
Yeah.
actual part three, I think, was made as an expansion for part two, but then it just got released as its own game. I don't know that for a fact, but that's what I sort of remember in my
This is a
memory.
thought that we think might be true. Google. It's
Yeah, you
useful.
might as well Google it because, like, I'm just going based on my memories, and these memories are old, so they've been around a while.
Yeah, but I always thought that like all of those things is what made that game. It made it scary for me. Because when you have a set camera on anything, I'm already nervous because I don't have control. So I'm like, what the fuck? And I don't see anything in this trailer that speaks anything of the first game.
Yeah, I don't.
From what I only played it for 2 hours, and I was just like, I don't see that.
I saw a lot of things that reminded me of that Silent Hill demo trailer they released way back. But and speaking
Yeah,
of Silent Hill, I assume you've seen that 10 minutes they released of the unreleased PS3 Silent Hill.
yeah,
What'd you think?
okay.
Oh,
So
wait, I thought you said you liked all Silent Hills. What's going on here?
well, this one doesn't exist, and this is
Okay, go ahead.
first of all, I was immediately upset at the idea that there's actual human beings that you have to hide from. Like people that you have to duck away from or, maim or injure, whatever they think they're doing. I don't like that. There's never been a Silent Hill game where you have to fight human beings, ever. Don't do that. That's not what this game is about. It's supposed to be like a dark, torturous journey into your inner fucking demons. You don't bring people in and start killing them. Like, and the only I'm lying because in Silent Hill 4, you do have to kill some people. Spoiler alert, you're never going to get to this point in the game, so just let go, people. There's people you have to kill, but they're not people anymore. Like, any person that you think you're killing isn't a person anymore. So I didn't like that. They used a character named Travis Grady, who was in Silent Hill Origins, which was released on the PSP and then released again on the PS2 or 3, I don't know. But they reused Travis Grady when he only had one purpose. And Travis Grady later drops off Alex Shepard in Silent Hill Homecoming. So Grady only had a purpose for one game, and then this game looks just like Origins. It feels just like Origins. They just added stupid shit that isn't in Silent Hill games. And it was being made by the team that made Shattered Memories, which was a great game, but it was not a Silent Hill game because you had to sit in a psychiatrist's office in between levels and answer very personal questions about yourself.
Sort of like Until
And
Dawn.
yeah, and I streamed it. And they ask you stuff that's really uncomfortable, which I did not realize would
Now,
happen.
is that the
And
one that you have to color a house with crayons?
yes.
Okay, I seem to recall you doing that. Okay.
Yes, like some things were simple like that, but it does get in your head, and they would base the levels
Yeah.
around what you answered and stuff, which was really an interesting idea, and it did work because I found some things in levels that made me really nauseous. And at the end of the game, they tell you your psych evaluation, which was so right, it was uncomfortable.
Because I remember
But
that. I
that,
remember like you would color the shirt of a character, and then the character
yeah,
showed up in the game wearing that color of a shirt, so it was neat.
yeah, for that level, it did do that. And then there was other things you answered about, like what you were in high school. And then when you have to go through a high school in the game, there's a lot of stuff that kind of caters to what you more than likely went through in school. So it was really unnerving how personal the game got. And you also can't fight in that game. You have to hide and run a lot. It's set up more like Clock Tower, if anyone's ever played that, which if you haven't, you are missing out. But that team is the one who was making this game that was never released. And I think that's the big reason why, because Shattered Memories did horribly. And it looks way too much like Origins, and they reused Travis Grady, who nobody ever cared about.
Yeah, and basically,
It was just bad. Like, I mean, I get it, and there were comments saying, "Oh, Konami, you failed by not picking this up," but Konami just failed, period. So I think everyone just wanted to see something Silent Hill at this point, but this would be something none of us wanted to see.
and for those who don't know, that this was footage that somebody had released recently. They basically acquired the assets and the files from the PS3. This was a game they were making for the PS3, but they ultimately abandoned, so it doesn't actually exist. But this guy basically acquired a copy of whatever they were working on and showed off some level footage. Because
Yeah.
what from my outside perspective here, looking at it, because you know me, I played Silent Hill 1, and that was way back
Oh,
when it released,
that's just you.
and I
Okay.
saw the movie, and so that's my understanding. But this game, I mean, basically, it looked like it was a redneck character walking around hiding from
He's a
things.
truck driver, all
A
right?
truck driver, okay.
Sorry.
And yeah, I mean, it was just walking around hiding from things. To me, it didn't look that interesting, but I've never really been that interested in Silent Hill anyway, so I wouldn't know a good one from a bad one. So, what do you got to do?
Well, they're all Silent Hill went. I mean, it's the game has been done under a few different people, so it's changed accordingly. I have not been upset with anything they've done because I like change. I like to see them do different things. To me, they have never gone far enough away from what it's supposed to be that I've been upset about it. Like Shattered Memories, it left Silent Hill. Really, like you don't have a lot of the things that you normally see, and it went a very different direction. It's not the same kind of game. It's not like a game where you're looking at maps, checking out rooms and stuff. You're just going level by level. So that was the weirdest one out of all of them, but I haven't disliked any of them. The only one I waited on was Silent Hill Downpour because everybody complained about it. Everyone said it was horrible, but I thought it was really great because I loved how the world would change around you as you were playing in it and it would transform into the other world. Like I dug that. I thought that was really cool. But people didn't like the character. People were complaining about how things were. People just need reasons to bitch. But I'm happy this game doesn't exist because Travis Grady wasn't that great. We don't need no.
Well,
It doesn't need to
something else
happen.
that's not going to exist are mods on the Sony PlayStation 4. Last Friday,
Yeah, that was an interesting one to read.
yeah, this happened like on Fridays when they announced this. So this was after our
Hmm.
podcast, or else it would have made the cut. But they pretty much came out and said, yes, no, we're not going to have pods. I'm sorry, mods.
We're not gonna have pods
We're not going to have
anymore.
pod people.
No more pods.
No more. Okay, but no, they're not going to have mods on their Skyrim and Fallout 4 games. This thing got so far, like Bethesda was in the approval process for getting this thing on the PS4, and Sony just said, nope, not going to happen. So a
But
lot of
why?
fans got very upset.
Why are they doing that?
What was that?
Why are they doing that?
Why are they cutting it out?
Yes.
Uh, because it's Sony. I mean, that's the easiest answer to that question. It's Sony. Sony likes to. I don't know if it's a liability thing for Sony or if it's that they just want to control things that much that they're going to say no. And I think the other thing with Sony right now is they've kind of gotten to a position where I think their heads have gotten really big, where they're not really worried about upsetting the base because they were winning for so long. But I feel like this type of thing, especially when they're launching a new system against Microsoft's new Xbox One S, I feel like this is going to hurt them. I mean, this is going to hurt them pretty badly because if you're like a new customer and you're looking at getting one of these 4K consoles and you're looking at Xbox One S versus the PS4, well, here's the thing. The Xbox, you have a 4K Blu-ray player. On the PS4, you have no 4K Blu-ray player. You have to stream all your 4K. Xbox does that too. Xbox, you can do mods. You can download mods to use in your video games, especially for Skyrim, Fallout 4.
Well, that's what people love about those games is those
I
mods.
know, and
It's because once you're done with the game, you can say, "Hey, there's so much more I could do now. Let me check out all these mods." And to take that away from people,
And
it's pretty bad.
Xbox has backwards compatibility. On Sony, you have to rebuy the games that you already own to play it on a modern system. So whenever you're weighing these two things back and forth, and not to even mention the fact that you can stack up gold cards, and PS4 won't let you do that with PS Plus, as we've gone over before. So all these things considered, the way I'm looking at this is this next cycle with Xbox One S versus PS4 Pro, Neo, what the hell ever. Xbox One has the edge. And I think they have a chance to finally break even on the market and to possibly even come out ahead. So it's going to be interesting to watch it because for the first time, Microsoft is positioned in a very good place to overtake Sony and to win the next half of this console generation war.
Yeah, and I think that's always going to happen. There's always going to be, Microsoft will be out, and then PS4 will be out.
Mm-hmm.
But not PS4, Sony, sorry.
Right.
But like, I don't think they're thinking right now because I think they're too comfortable.
And that's the thing. Both companies do this. Like both companies get to these positions where they're so
Oh
satisfied,
yeah.
and then the other one will make all these Hail Mary passes. And that's what Microsoft has been doing. And to their credit, like I'm just saying, like if I was actually shopping for one of the newer systems, my money would go to the Xbox One S at this point because it just offers you more for your money. And that's the bottom line. But that's just my take on it right now, and that could always change in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for Sony.
You're such a fangirl. Well,
It's bad. I mean, I only get Xbox for Gears. That's it. That's I've never bought an Xbox for any other reason.
see, I love them both.
Ever.
I love them both, and I'll call out their bullshit. Like if one of them does something
Yeah.
bad, I'm gonna call it
No, I think Sony's
out.
being fucking stupid. And their ego's a little bit overflowing, but I'm just like, I will never buy Xbox unless they keep. I mean, they're gonna keep making Gears games; those aren't gonna go away for a while, I don't think. So I'll keep buying Xbox until that goes away.
Did you see the new counselor for the Friday the 13th game? They posted a picture of the Jock character, Brandon Bugsy Wilson. Did you see him?
Yes, I did.
I look forward to this character. This is going to be one of my favorites.
That's gonna be a fun one. I saw that one. I was like, oh, I want to be that guy.
Looks pretty awesome. I like the Letterman jacket look.
Yeah, I dig that. That and Flirty Girl are gonna be my shit.
Oh yeah.
So excited for
And
that.
we've still got some more to see, so I'm looking forward to those guys too.
Yeah, there's another game that I'm excited about.
What's that?
Death Stranding.
Death Strand. I've heard of this. Wait, is this the?
You watched it with me, you jerk.
Yes, I did. But which one was it? I get the name.
Norman Reedus, the baby.
Okay, yes, the baby one, the one that
the
became
baby,
a
the
meme.
whales.
Okay.
Yeah. They've released a couple more things about it. He wants to show that like you can have an indie game that's making these amazing, wonderful games, and it's not trash. And he says it's going to be open world, and it's going to be co-op.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Like, is the whole game going to be co-op?
Yes.
Shake?
I know.
Am I gonna be playing a horror game with you?
You have no choice. I was reading on it because there wasn't a whole lot. He didn't say too much. He just said that there was some kind of strange life that was abandoned on our planet. So there's something not human, obviously, that has made its way to Earth, and we don't know what to do with it. I don't know what Norman Reedus has to do with it. We're probably playing as him. Since that's who we were going to be in the PT demo. Spoiler alert, if you didn't finish the demo, you're Norman Reedus. Get over it. But yeah, it's going to be open world, which is amazing, because we don't have open world horror games. Let me just say that. There are none. And if you find one, tell me. And it's going to be co-op, which we don't have a lot of horror games that are co-op at all. Like, there is not enough horror games that are co-op games. So I'm excited to see what kind of game it's going to be and how co-op's going to be incorporated. But there's not a lot of information on it, but I was just excited about it because it's a game I'm really looking forward to. And I know that I pretty much, like, I know in my heart that it's going to get finished someday. Someday. Because if this dies, a piece of me is going to die. That's all I have.
Fair enough. I know you've got
I'm really excited about it. Sorry.
I know you've got your consoles all packed up, so I'm assuming you haven't taken part in the new PS4 system software update 4.0. Is that right?
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
Haven't been able to. Everything's been packed for days.
Yeah, it looks pretty sleek. I have to give it that. It'll take some getting used to, but some cool stuff that I believe that comes with this is you can finally send longer video clips to Twitter, so you're no longer confined to that 10-second video clip, which I'm happy about because I've got some clips I'd love to upload. And there's some other cool little bells and whistles in there too. So I'm going to be trying some of those things out. I've only had a very brief time to check out some of the new stuff with it, and it's pretty neat so far.
I haven't turned my PlayStation on in a week.
Oh my God, you're going through withdrawal.
Yeah, I haven't played a video game in days. Like, I played, because, it's, as most of you know now, I'm moving. I'm moving the day after tomorrow. And the last time I played a game was 2 days ago. I came home from work and I loaded up this War of Mine, which, by the way, okay, so Razzle and I are playing the same story in this War of Mine right now.
Well, we were.
Oh, did you die?
We can go into that in a second.
Okay, because I'm on like day 20 something and I'm still good. Like they curbed crime. And my people are all alive. I've got like 5 people living with me.
Mm.
Like I'm good. Like I'm living the high life. But I was so like overwhelmed and stuff. Like I just got out of work. I'm sitting here thinking, yeah, I can relax to some this war of mine. But then I realized my people's lives are in my hands. As a child bitching at me. I gotta get food and supplies, and I'm like, I'm too stressed out for this game. So I played it a day, and then I was like, I'm shutting it off. So I haven't played any games since. Tell me how you failed and killed your children, Razzle.
All right, well, I made it to day 31, which I think is pretty good for my first time playing the game.
That's you know what? Okay, fair.
So,
I forgot that you're new. You're very new to this war
yes,
mode.
I'm extremely new. As in,
Very
this
new.
is my first game right here.
31 days is really
This
good.
was my first story, and so my characters, there was a dad and a little girl, and they found a little abandoned shack, and things were good, times were good. Then this lady moved in, and she was pretty cool. And then she went,
Zlata.
yeah, Zlata, and Zlata went out to a church, and she was stealing some stuff one day, and she overheard this guy saying that he found some ammo. So Zlata was like, you know what? We need some ammo. So she headed over there. The guy turned around, had this shotgun or rifle in his hand, pointed it at her head, boom, just blew her away. And
I would like to point out that Zlata was being controlled by Razzle the entire time.
I don't know if that's true or not. But then we met a fireman who came over. He was very
Marco.
nice, but he got ill. I don't remember how he got ill. I think he got injured doing something. He might have been shot. I don't remember. I honestly
You
don't.
probably let him freeze to death.
No, no, this was before winter, and so he passed on before winter. And then we had
Passed on.
somebody else came over. I think this was the simple girl from the hood.
Yeah, I've never met the simple girl from the hood, so I can't even give you guys a name on who that is because I haven't met
It's
her. I had Zlata and Bruno show up at my house.
I think it was Arika or something like that.
Oh, she does sound like she's from the hood.
And she and so she came over. She was a smoker and everything, so she had to have her nicotine fix. And while she was living with us, the dad went out one day and, well, daddy didn't come home. Let's just put it like that. Daddy never came home. And so it was Arika and the girl,
Iskra.
Iskra.
Or Iskra, however.
And then after a little bit, somebody else came over and they stayed. But then I believe I think this is where Arika died. And
How
so
did she. What the fuck is going on?
they were starving because this was during winter, if I remember right. Like this was during the cold of winter, and I had no idea what I was doing. So yeah,
Probably had no traps set up, nothing.
no traps. I didn't even know what a trap was.
Good Lord in
So
heaven.
they were starving, and
This is a good run for a first time.
but basically we were like running low on everything. We didn't have any food, and so finally a trader came by one day in the winter, and I said pretty much to this guy, you know what? I will give you everything I have if you just give me one morsel of food. And so what Arika started doing was Arika would take the food and not let the girl know, and she would just eat it. And she'd be like, yeah, well, no, I'm hungry too. So the girl was like literally starving to death downstairs.
Wait a minute. So you just weren't feeding the kid, you were choosing to feed Art.
I was choosing to feed Arika, yeah. And I did that because I felt like the game would let me keep going. But if I lost an adult, then, it would be over. So,
Right, you just have to go through the slow, painful, agonizing death of a
but
child.
one more person came over. Arika died, so it was up to this other person who, oh yeah, I remember this girl. She was like a rich girl. She was like wealthy and well-to-do. And she was injured when she came over, and I could never get her healed because I didn't have any supplies. So it was just her and the girl for a while. And then one day she went out to Sniper's Pass or the
Sniper's Junction.
Sniper's Junction. And I didn't realize that the sniper was actually going to shoot me. I thought it was just like a part of the storyline.
No, it's the Sniper's Junction.
Yeah. And so the sniper shot her. And so that night the girl ran away from home, and that was the end.
The little girl ran?
Yeah, like I think if you like lose all the adults, I think the girl just runs away from home.
Well, she ain't got no home if you lost
Yeah.
everybody, Razzle.
She couldn't do anything. So
Oh my god, that poor child watched every single person she knew die.
she did.
Like, every single person that came into contact with her. At some point, she must have just been like, oh, we'll see how long you make it. You're not gonna last long. I haven't lost anybody. I've been doing really well.
Well, how many times have you played this
Surprisingly.
game?
I've put about 40 hours into it.
Okay.
My first playthrough only lasted 6 days though.
Oh, there you go.
Ever. So your first playthrough was really good. You did a really good job. There's things that you didn't do that you should have done, like I don't know, traps.
I didn't know anything about these traps.
You had to upgrade all your. Oh, God.
I updated quite a bit, I think.
Yeah, not enough. You let a little girl watch everyone she knew die around her, so she just was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm better off on my own. Everyone dies when they come near me. Because I've made that little girl useful. Like, I love her, because now during the day I put everyone to bed and she cooks, she does everything, she makes everything.
Oh my God.
And then they get sad because they're like, oh, she's working too hard. And I'm like, bitch, she doesn't do anything. Like, we go out. We protect her. She can fucking make water and filters and shit, but I have like over 100 units of water now, so I don't need to do that anymore. Like, I'm very well off right now.
Well, that's
I'm
good.
like a wealthy homeless person right now, so it's good. But I'm not going to be touching it again till after I move, because after tonight, I'm going to be unplugging this bad boy.
Yeah.
It's I'm nervous. I'm probably going to play some games all night to kind of get my fix. I'm probably going to wait till tomorrow to unplug it, actually, because I just don't want to.
Well, there's something else over here. The BioWare has started a fan contest for getting into Mass Effect Andromeda. They released 2 scripts, sample scripts for fans to read, so they can try out for a role. And if you win, they will fly you out and for 2 days, and they'll have you record the lines. And yeah.
Wait a minute. Does this game have a release date?
No, it doesn't have a release date.
It's not fucking coming out.
Well, Shake, hold on. I thought it would be fun if you read for the part. So you want me to give you the script real fast?
Wait,
hold on. I'm sending you the script, okay?
Okay.
All right. Here's the first script.
Where are you sending it?
I'm going to be sending this probably through our little Skype channel here.
Okay.
All right. Let me see if I can actually do
this. Is this like a two people or just one person speaking?
Oh, it's a 2-person thing.
Okay,
but
so we're going to go back and forth?
Well, yeah. I'll read for the part of Ryder here, and you can try out for the part of Jordan Tate. All right.
I don't like it already.
There, now you take a look at your script, and it even gives you pointers on how to say these lines. You have this?
Yeah.
All right, I got to hold on 1 second. Now this is Mass Effect Andromeda. All right. And the scene is Jordan Tate is a smart and talented indie documentarian eager to give the real perspective of life in Andromeda. And Shake is playing Jordan Tate. And right away, I'm getting like vibes of, do you remember Mass Effect 3 when they had the reporter on there?
Yeah.
I feel like this is just going to be like a carbon
played
copy.
by Jessica Chobot.
Yeah, her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, damn it, I should have been Ryder. Okay. You know what? I've got so many lines here.
I know. You've got to try out.
Okay.
I'm helping you.
Okay. All right. We're switching roles after this.
Oh, my God. Well, in that case, we'll read the second script for the other one.
Oh,
and I'll try out for the next one.
Yeah, you need to try out for the bigger role next time.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. Okay. Ooh, I got to get in the zone here. All right. Ryder, isn't it? Jordan Tate, freelance vidmaker. Superintendent Drakes asked for an uplifting documentary about our efforts. Translation, paint rainbows over our problems. But people deserve the truth, not propaganda.
Perhaps a crisis is a time for hope rather than hard truths.
Sorry.
That's how Ryder's going to say that.
That's not how anyone says anything. If I can't, how would I respond?
It says to respond disdain.
All right, hold on. I'm full of disdain. Okay. If we pretend everything's fine, who does that truly serve? I want the dirt and blood, not the convenient fairy tale Drake's looking for.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, how do you think things are going? Official reports don't tell us very much.
I think people should go out and see Andromeda for themselves.
No trouble at all? Are those scars on your armor just from popping the champagne? Never mind. If that's your take, that's what goes in. Bandwidth means I'm transmitting in short bursts, so that's all for now.
There you go. All right, I'm going to send you...
I did a much better job than you, because you sound insane.
All right, the second script here I'll be reading for this part. You know,
All right,
Bioware's
hold.
listening to this right now. You need to take this seriously.
So am I the worried mercenary?
Yeah, you're going to be the worried one. Okay, so we had two mercenaries talk about some of the difficulties of living on the frontier and being pioneers in a new world. Razzle will be playing the role of the tough mercenary.
I'm just letting everyone know I got the part of Jordan Tate. Like I did good, considering the person I had to deal with. All right, here we go.
All right. Oh, that's me. I'm doing the first one. Okay.
Oh my God, they're already telling me to leave. Goodbye, sir. Goodbye. Goodbye. You obviously weren't ready today. Goodbye.
I got a great deal on the gear we salvaged from that crash. Here's your share.
You said we'd split the take evenly.
It's even. Do the math.
I've got a family. You don't. This isn't fair. We agreed.
To split the profits 50-50. How you feed your family is your problem.
I just keep thinking, what if I hadn't left the capital? Maybe I wouldn't have to worry about where my kids' next meals are coming from.
We're doing better than some are.
You're slowly becoming a pirate. Okay. But I worry that one day I'll cross Sanders and find my kids murdered.
If you cross Sanders, do not let him become the president. Okay, no. Sanders doesn't kill kids. And you don't know that wouldn't have happened in the capital.
There were laws back there. Out here, it's thugs running the place.
A thug wearing the uniform is still a thug. Sanders was head of security back in the capital, and look what she's become. Trust me, things like rule of law, like decency, out the window when things go bad.
So you wouldn't go back if you got the chance?
Hell no, it's not the best here, but I got decide my life, and it's what we wanted, right? Us to start. I don't even know what I'm saying.
You went from pirate to Scottish?
That's the ending?
So I think, Razzle, there's points on the side that tell you the direction to take. You took none of those direction points. I'm going to tell you right now.
I felt like I had a better take on the character than the writer did. I
don't think you know. I think you're wrong.
Okay.
I don't think we need pirates that eventually become Scottish halfway through a conversation. You didn't even start off pirate. You went pirate and then Scottish.
Well, I started to feel the character more as it went on, so.
He doesn't sound like a tough mercenary. He just sounds like a guy who's been out on the boat for too long. Like he's just been alone at sea. Oh, this is fun. You know what? We have to do a script section now.
We really do. But for anybody who wants to try out for this, you can get the scripts online. You have to turn them in by the 28th of September. So you want to send them the audio files or a video file even. And you just read the script.
We'll leave a link for them, too.
Yeah, I mean, basically you read the script, you send it into them, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next voice actor on Mass Effect, because I have a feeling they're not going to pick me.
So. I might do it.
You should do it, Shake.
I think they'd pick me.
I think they'll pick you, too.
I think I could be Jordan Tate.
Shake, I think you are Jordan Tate.
I could also be a very worried mercenary. People out here are crazy!
They're all crazy.
Like, I could do that. Like, I don't think they are going to pick you, no. I don't think they're going to pick you at all.
Oh, but you know who they did pick? They picked, for the Emmys, RuPaul has won an Emmy. I was very excited. I thought, oh, finally, there we go.
An Emmy for what?
For the RuPaul's Drag Race.
Okay, I'm just making sure there's nothing different that I don't know about. I'm just making sure it wasn't some new thing that I was unaware of.
Oh, my goodness.
That's good, though. I love that show.
Oh, yeah. RuPaul.
That show's just the right amount of sass and drama for me.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice that he gets some notoriety and a little bit of fucking prestige from the academies or whatever. You know, even though I don't think very highly of these awards, like, you know, Oscars, Emmys, or what the hell ever. But
they're all trash.
But it's still nice. It's still nice when somebody gets a little bit of appreciation.
Has he never gotten one?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure
that show's been on for a long time.
Yeah, and you would have thought that, you know, but no, I don't think he has.
A lot of people still don't know what it is. Like, some people still don't know what that show even is, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So maybe that's why he's just getting... I mean, I don't know why it took this long for the show to get recognized.
I don't either.
But, like, if you go into a room of people and say, hey, does anyone know who RuPaul is? Most of them are going to say no. Like, just next time you're at the doctor's, this goes out to everybody. When you're sitting there, just be like, attention. Raise your hand if you know who RuPaul is. It's gonna be very, very sparse.
I don't think that's true. I think everybody would know.
No, they wouldn't.
I think everybody would know. They would know him from something. But
You know what? You know what? Fine. I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna make a video on my phone of me at the apple orchard sitting on the hayride, and I'm gonna ask everybody on the hayride, "Do you know who RuPaul is?" I'm gonna put it on the YouTube, guys.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be investigative. Oh my God, I'm gonna be a journalist. Oh my God, I'm gonna go by Jordan Tate. See, I've already adopted the character.
You've already
into my
become
life.
Jordan Tate.
I've become Jordan Tate. I like it. I just need to change my outfit. I can't wear this.
It's for a voice part though.
But I need to. You don't understand. I'm a method actor. I need to become my character.
You need to go out and become a freelance vid
I'm
maker.
busy. You know, Drake is. You can be my Drake. You're annoying. You'll be my Drake.
Oh my God.
I'll be like, Drake wants all this crap. I'm not giving propaganda. Garbage. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I think I'm gonna do it too. I think I'm gonna become Jordan Tate.
You know what? I'm just gonna send them in for fun. And if what the fuck? It can't hurt to do it.
Why else would you do it other than fun? I mean, come on. Like, if they pick somebody, it's like, oh, hey, awesome. But otherwise, it's just for fun.
Like, if they pick me, am I gonna get paid?
See, well, I know that you get an all expense paid trip down there. I don't know if you actually get paid in addition to that, but
well, it's just, I mean,
they
I
do
wouldn't
cover
care
your costs. They cover your hotel. They cover all that shit. So,
you know what? That's fine. If I never get paid, it was still an experience, and I'd be like, hey guys, I'm in a video game.
yeah, that's the thing. It's mostly like notoriety about the fact that you get into a video game. If you're trying to break into voice work, it could be a great kickstart for that because then you can put on your resume, I was in this video game.
Yeah, I was in a video game. I was Jordan Tate, vid maker, and maybe Jordan Tate's gonna live on the ship, so I'll have like all these different things that I can say.
Now, I wonder if they'll let me like help design this character if I get the part.
I was about to say, like, are they gonna use my likeness? Because if so, I've got some tweaks I want to make.
See, no, I don't want him to look like me at all. No, I think he should look
well,
more like
I'm
Bugsy.
pretty, so I want it to look like me.
He should look more like Bugsy Wilson over here.
Oh my
Brandon Bugsy
land,
Wilson. That's I'm gonna have this picture and say, can you make him look like this?
No, because then you'd have to pay the. You can't do that.
I can do that.
I want it to look like me because I'm pretty.
Oh my goodness, shit.
There's just
know
like
what?
I'd have him fix some stuff so I look a little better.
If I get the part, I want him to look like you.
Oh, good. I'll give you some photos for reference. I'll make sure that you get some good pictures of me. Okay.
Okay.
It's gonna work out great. Well, I don't have any more game news.
I have a couple of things here.
Good. Please do them. Otherwise, I'm gonna go into my random shit.
Well, the Isle just got Sandbox back this past week. It's, I believe, just yesterday, the day before, they announced that Sandbox has returned. So, and I already noticed there's like, those number of negative reviews have actually declined. Like I was looking at the numbers. I don't have the official numbers right here, but I'll have to bring them next week.
They did go down.
So yeah, next week I'm going to bring those, and then I can look at those and be like, okay, look how many there were opposed to how many back then there were. So yeah, so Sandbox has returned, and that means basically that there's now another game mode that you can go and play. If you want to buy the Isle for $20 on Steam, it's well worth it, and you can go in there and play any dinosaur you want to that's currently in the game. Oh, I look forward to playing a little bit more of Sandbox, but I'm also going to play some progression. So I'm gonna play a little bit of everything.
I enjoy the. I'll probably mess around with Sandbox mostly just for the sake of exploring.
Yeah.
That's what I will use Sandbox for personally, but progression is probably where I'm going to spend most of my time because I'm working towards things. I have a purpose. Whereas in Sandbox, you don't.
See,
it's just to live and explore.
For me, it wouldn't make any difference because I don't plan to go any further than Compy, so.
Okay, but that doesn't exist yet. But I'm saying in general, progression gives you a purpose, something to do, something to work towards, whereas Sandbox will just give you an opportunity to be whatever you want to be, try out all the different dinosaurs, and explore maps, kind of get a feel for everything. So, I mean, I'll definitely do that because I need to learn this map, and when I learn it, it'll be fucking gone.
Oh my goodness.
Which is fantastic, but I'm excited. I'm excited to have it back. I miss my old map still. Like, I find myself longing for it. Like, people were posting pictures of the old map, and I was like, oh, damn, I miss you. But it'll never be back.
No.
We'll never see it again.
No, it's gone.
This one will be gone soon, too, probably.
Oh, yeah. They're constantly going to, I mean, they're going to be bringing out new ones all the time, hopefully soon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they're constantly making new maps. They're constantly working on those things. And of course, I've got the end game map, which is going to be released later down the road. But right now, they're coming up with maps to just kind of play around with. So maybe some different types of environments, maybe a snow environment at some point. That'll be cool.
That has been discussed.
So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming for the Isle. It continues to be updated all the time. A great game to lose some time in. So
And the developer streams are wonderful.
I've noticed the Steam also changed some things recently. They're no longer going to allow the reviews to be counted from people who received free game keys from developers, which now I don't know if
Oh.
that includes all game keys. So in other words, if you get a game key, you plug it in, that means you can never review the game or whatever. Maybe that's what it means. But basically, if you don't buy the game directly off of Steam, then your review won't be counted, is how it sounds. And it is interesting because a lot of indie games, now this has mostly affected indie games. Lots of indie games have gone from having like that 73% positive down to 13% positive, because obviously if you get a free game, you're less likely to review it negatively. I mean, that's just common sense. You're
Right.
not going to be as critical. Whereas if you actually put your money into it, you're going to be talking about all the pros, cons, and everything. So I think
Right.
I think it's actually a pretty cool move by Steam, and I look forward to seeing how it might affect things. Hasn't had a lot of impact on big AAA titles, but as people were pointing out, that's because a lot of times whenever AAA games come out, you have those big influx of reviews and more people start reviewing it. So could it have an impact on them as time goes on? In other words, for some new AAA games coming out, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to wait and see.
I like that they're doing that though. It's gonna stop a lot of bullshit reviews.
I hope so.
Reviews that are just useless, whether they be positive or negative reviews, because I just like I don't see a need to leave negative reviews, which I know we've talked about at great
Mhm.
lengths. I also don't see a need for just a thumbs up just because.
Yeah, and
I don't think you should review anything unless you can actually leave a review. I just don't think it's good to do. So I like that they're doing this. I'm okay with it.
like you can see those reviews, but you have to opt into it. So the default is going to be you won't see those. And
That's good with
one of
me.
the things they said was there have been a lot of people who have not been disclosing they got the game for free. Now, sometimes whenever you go to a game and you see the review section, you'll see on there a tag under some of them that says received a free copy. That's what they're supposed to disclose. So if they review the game and they get it for free, they're supposed to tag that option so that it shows up there, got a free
Right.
copy. Those people did that correctly, but there are apparently a lot of them who weren't doing that. And so they were like,
I
you
can
know
see
what?
it.
Let's come down with the hammer and let's straighten this out. So, well, it'll be interesting going forward to see how that goes. I know Oculus is about to start their fall sale, so that'll be pretty cool. I haven't really seen any of the ads for it yet. It just got announced today. And some other things on here real fast. WWE 2K17, a game that I'm looking forward to, drops next month. Just came out with a Creation Suite trailer. They were highlighting all the new things you can create in the game. Because one of the cool things about this game series is you can go in there and you can create arenas, you can create your own shows. Well, one of the new things they added was the ability to create your own game videos, which can be used as Titantrons for your created wrestler, as well as a created video for a show opening. So you can create your own custom show. So every time your show starts, it will have that playing in the background and that playing as the startup. So a lot of cool stuff that's coming out of there, and I continue to monitor that closely. And today is the very final day you can get for free WWE 2K16 and Games for Gold. That will disappear at midnight, I believe. And on that note, I think that's going to be most of the gaming stuff I have here. So if you do have some random stuff you wanted to go into, now would be the
I've
time.
got a lot.
Okay.
All right. I've got stuff. Did you ever see the Blair Witch Project?
Yes, I did.
Did you like it?
Mm. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Did I like the Blair Witch Project?
I feel like I came at you so hard you just
Well,
got confused.
I was taking a sip of water. I thought you were about to go into this, but
Not
now
yet.
now
I'm
that you're asking me,
questions.
let me see. You know,
God, this is a two-person show, Razzle.
I never saw it in the theater, and I'm told that a lot of people who saw it in the theater got very sick because of all the jerky motions.
Well, yeah,
I
I'm cool.
enjoyed it for what it was, and could it have been better? Yes,
Yep.
but truth be told, there weren't a lot of people who were doing that at that time, so it was fairly unique in the horror genre. Even if not that original an idea, it was still unique in the genre. So, so yeah, I
Okay.
did like it. I would say I liked it. Yes.
All right. Well, let me tell you my experience with the Blair Witch Project. So, when I saw it when I was about 10 years old, because I'm a child. And after watching it, I watched it. I went on the website because the website was not set up like a website.
Right.
The website was set up like it really happened, and that they were looking for these people, and that it was a real thing. There was like newspaper articles, a phone number you could call. There was all sorts of shit. Like, call this station. And like, I looked up the people in it, and they weren't in anything. So I was like, oh my God, the Blair Witch is like a true story. I believed for years that the Blair Witch Project was a true story. I thought it really happened.
Well, that kind of reminds me of Cannibal Holocaust. Um,
What the fuck?
no, no, I'm serious. Like from the early '80s, I think it was 1980 or '81. I think it was '80. But Cannibal Holocaust, when that came out, it starred. I don't know if any of the actors in it were actually well known. I don't think they were, but they all had to sign a contract that they would not do anything for a year, that they would not make appearances, that they would not go on shows, because it was shot as almost a documentary.
Yeah.
And so the people in the movie, have you seen the movie?
Well, no, because you said it, and the title just made me alarmed. No, I haven't seen it.
Oh. Well,
You
basically,
say Cannibal Holocaust, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty metal, Razzle. What's going on? Like,
but
what?
yeah, like basically this group of people, if I remember correctly, they stumble upon this tribe and they're like documenting the tribe, but then eventually the tribe turns on them and starts killing them. And
Interesting.
so it's done as almost sort of like a found footage thing, but this was from back in 1980. And what happened was the film started to get some notoriety, so much so that they actually began to suspect it might be a like a snuff film. Is that the right name for it? Where you actually
Yes.
film
Yeah.
people getting killed, and it
Yeah.
went
Where you
so
go on? That's what you go on the dark web for.
right, and it went so far as to actually going to court, and they took the director to court, and because the actors had all signed these things, they were not there. Like, so nobody knew where the actors were, and he was struggling to find these guys to prove that they weren't dead because they were trying to convict him of murder, and finally they
But
found
they already signed the
right,
thing.
but they
Like
but they
they're
did
not
find
supposed to.
them, and and so all was well. But yeah, they were actually
Oh
trying to
my
convict him of
God, I'm gonna
murder.
have to see this.
Like it
If it
probably
was that
it's
bad.
not going to look like that to you. Like it
Well, but
it's
for its
for
time,
its
it
time.
probably was. Yeah, so
Yes.
I'd still be curious to see it, to see something that was taken seriously enough where someone was tried for murder.
Yeah, I mean,
But that's how I felt with the Blair Witch Project, because it's also set up like a documentary.
right.
Like they're going out there. And to me, everything looked, at the, mind you, I haven't watched it in years, but everything looked real. I believed everything I saw. And after watching it, I was convinced. And it was probably because my cousin was with me, and he's like 10 years older than me. He was like, "Yeah, this really happened." And I was like, "What? Don't mess with me." So I go on the internet, couldn't find these people. Found like articles and stuff about it. And everything I led to made me think it really fucking happened. And I went on their website, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is real." So then, like, I thought I had watched people get murdered in the woods. I was traumatized. I was like, I was crying. I'm like, oh my God, I just watched people die. And like, I lost my shit. And then, like after days of depression and freaking out over this, and like wondering who would ever put this on like on a fucking cassette tape, and let me watch it. I forgot about it. And then I'm walking into a movie store, and I see Blair Witch Project 2. And like I just kind of, my entire being collapsed in on itself, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like that's, I was like I lived in fear for days over this when I was younger, and I come to find out that it's not real at all. And it was traumatizing for me. But now they're redoing the series, I guess. And it's supposed to be, I tend to be turned off by horror movies, and you don't like them. I know you don't like scary things.
I like some horror films, but
Well, you won't watch Annabelle with me.
that's not true.
Mm. Hmm.
So
Really?
they're remaking Blair Witch.
We're gonna get back to this guy because I got some Annabelle news for you as well. They're remaking the Blair Witch Project. It comes out this Friday. I will be seeing it either tomorrow or sometime next week because it's something that really hurt me as a child. So I just want to see it now, the new stuff, and see what they're doing with it. It's still set up, with the camcorders, which is really popular now anyway.
Mhm.
People are doing that all over the place and things. But it's Blair Witch, so I wanted to see it. I thought it'd be really cool. And I didn't know if you knew about it, if you had any interest in it.
Well, I think I hadn't heard about them remaking it, no, but I think one of the films that had a really cool idea, in my opinion, I know a lot of people hate it, but for me it was Cloverfield, which I actually really enjoyed watching.
Oh, that was good. I liked that
I
movie.
liked it a lot because not only was it a found footage movie, but it was actually a very high budget movie, and so
Yeah.
that was one of the things I really enjoyed about it was that and also the camera person really had such a personality that they were a character in and of themselves and
Yes.
so
I remember that.
for me that one really did a good job like out of a lot of the ones I've seen.
Well, I remember another one that was a found footage one that I really liked was the houses that October built. If you've never seen it before, for anybody listening, it's on Netflix. It's a horror movie. It's filmed like a documentary about people, and it's something that I think a lot of people do. So it was really interesting to me. Is there's all these people getting an RV together, and they travel the country
Oh, now, whoa, whoa,
looking
whoa!
for
Now
this.
don't spoil this one. This one
I'm
sounds
not.
interesting to me.
I'm not spoiling it. I'm just giving a general idea of the movie. All these friends go into an RV and they go across the country trying to find the scariest horror park,
Oh Lord.
and that's what the movie centers around. Is that, and it's filmed much, with the handhelds and stuff. It's a little silly, but I liked it. I liked it a lot, and it's called The Houses That October Built.
And you know what?
I liked it a lot. It freaked me out. Like I couldn't go to sleep after. Like I had to sleep with the lights
So
on.
I'm gonna have to watch that one. Another one that was really good I saw on Netflix was Troll Hunter. Um,
What?
oh, if you've never seen Troll Hunter, that's one of the best found footage films.
It looks like we're having a movie night.
And well, the thing about Troll Hunter is it's not in English. It's all closed caption, but it's such
That's
a
fine.
you're not even going to care about that because I mean the movie is just brilliant. Like it's got great graphics. It looks very decently budgeted, and the acting's pretty good. And yeah, it's a found footage type of movie, so it's very good in that genre.
Well, now what we're gonna have to do is have a movie night where we watch both of these. Well, so then we can each share our thoughts on the other's favorite found footage.
Yeah, you know,
So that'll be
I,
good. That'll be
I
interesting.
know I've seen some other ones. I remember seeing one about the Russian hikers who went missing.
Oh no 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 no! Was it not the Russian hikers, but people from America that went over to like follow in their
Yeah,
footsteps and
that's
see
what
what
it was.
happened?
I saw,
I saw that one. That one wasn't bad.
and I also saw one I think about Frankenstein, and
That's not ringing any bells for me.
that one needed some work. But
Well, you said Frankenstein. I'm like,
now
okay.
out of the paranormal activity movies, in my opinion, I mean they kind of are hit or miss. In my opinion, the best out of that series was part two.
I can't remember what I've seen. What I remember is one, I went to the theaters to see, and at the time I was still like heavy into like my smoking pot phase. So I went to the theater high, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go see a scary movie. I have anxiety as it is, so I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, and I went with my friend, and we sat down to watch the movie, and they left to go to the bathroom, so they were gone for like the whole movie. At least that's how it felt for me. And I remember the scene where I think it's a babysitter with kids in the house, I think,
Yeah,
or like a sister or something. I don't know which one this is. But and then you see somebody walk into the kitchen behind her with a sheet on.
yeah. I think that's the '80s one. I think
Yeah, maybe so. Because like I saw that scene and I was so fucking
yeah,
scared. Because then
that as far as that movie goes, that scene you're talking about, I think was the best scene of that entire movie because it was the
yeah,
only
because
one.
then when she turns around and it just like disappears
Yeah, I think
and
it like
like
just
the blanket just
yeah,
drops.
just drops and falls.
I That unsettled me so deeply. Mind you, like I was high. I lost my
Well,
mind. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go
well, that's not
home.
just the
Like
drug because
I
that,
got
in
so
my
scared.
opinion, that was the only scene in that entire movie that was creepy, and I remember
Yeah,
that one.
that's the only, and honestly, that's the only scene that really sticks out to me is that one because I was scared. I was like, shit,
Well,
that is unsettling.
they built it so well because the camera was on like a it was on a moving, it was going back and forth, so it was like scanning to the right, scanning to the left, and for a long time they
Yes,
were
and then
doing
you'd
that.
see it.
And so what they did so well was they placed it so matter of factly that you realized that you had to be looking for it to see it when it was first there, and then you're like, oh my god, what is that?
Right, and then you're waiting for the camera to go back. You're like, hold on. Oh my god, it's there again.
But yeah, it was
That's another project we should do.
the the
The
paranormal.
paranormal series.
Okay.
That's fun. It won't be
I
a
mean,
good one.
the first one's
We can
kind
do
of
it.
but I'll sit
There
through.
was a there was another thing. What was oh god, it's not on Netflix. Is it either on Netflix or Amazon Prime? Called Unfriended or something like that. Um about all these kids. The whole movie is all this group Skype call, which is really interesting. Like it's all these kids on Skype talking to each other, and all this stuff starts happening in each of their homes.
Hmm.
That one was different. I mean, it was annoying because it's high schoolers, so I was just annoyed with their general
Well,
presence.
was it high
But
schoolers acting like high schoolers, or was it like 40-year-old men writing for high schoolers?
I mean, it seemed like some of them were normal, but like you have like your normal girl who's average. You know, she's just an average girl who's got the boyfriend who's like, "Oh, I love you so much.
Mm.
Take your shirt off." Like that guy. And then you have like the jock asshole who's like, "I'm better than all of you. I have a gun." Like, like I'm using my dad's gun when he's not home. And then you have like the bimbo. You have the idiot who's like, "Oh my god, guys, you're all so stupid." And you just have like the fat friend who's sitting there like, yeah, I'm gonna hack into the school and fix our grades. So yeah, it's written by 40-year-olds.
Okay.
But the stuff that happened was interesting. I thought it was an interesting idea to use a Skype call for
Well,
that.
I'll have to
I know
check
they
it.
made another one now that's also done through. It looks like a horror movie done through Snapchat videos. Which, I mean, I don't know how they're gonna do that because Snapchat videos are only like what 5-10 seconds long. So they're making like a whole movie about these kids exploring this building in Snapchat videos. We haven't had good horror movies, all right? I think the only good ones we've had lately, the Conjuring movies are good. I haven't seen the second one, but I loved the first one, and Vera Farmiga has my heart. Babadook scared the hell out of me. We don't have a lot of good ones out now, though.
Yeah, I haven't seen one in a long time.
Yeah,
So,
Babadook is scary, and that's on Netflix. That scares me.
what I think I need to
Like,
do at some point is to have like a Halloween marathon because I don't think I've ever really seen those.
I've seen, you know what? I would have to say the same because I've like walked in on them like I've seen them on TV or in passing, but I've never sat through an entire Halloween movie.
Because I've sat through several Hellraisers. I've sat through Friday the 13th. I've sat through Nightmare on Elm Street. Never sat through Halloween. I think I've only seen like scenes here and there. I think I've seen the
Same.
very first scene of the movie, but I know that I haven't really seen, except for the remake. I saw the remake,
Oh my
and that's
god,
it. That's all I've ever seen.
that's
I
horrible.
know. I need to go back and see the original
Rob
films.
Zombie is just absolute trash.
I didn't
I'm
like the
sorry.
movie. No.
I'm sorry. Rob Zombie has not made a single movie that I have liked. Like every single movie he makes, it's all the same garbage. Like with Halloween, he couldn't do his Devil's Rejects, fucking House of a Thousand Corpses bullshit. But he took Halloween and he changed like he changed like the origin story. He changed you changed an origin story of a psychopath. You can't change the Halloween origin story. You do not have that right, ever. Don't do that. But he did it, and it sucked. So I'm sad that that's the one that you had to see.
There was apparently a video game an indie person made because I watched somebody play this on YouTube. That's based on Halloween, and it has like Michael Myers in there. So I know this was not a for-profit game or anything. It was an indie guy made it online, and it was pretty well put together for an indie game or whatever.
Okay, but what was it?
It's basically you play this girl going to babysit for this kid, and as the night wears on, things start happening, and then eventually Michael Myers is there chasing you around, and it looked pretty difficult. So not a game
Oh,
I would
that's
survive.
interesting. Yeah, well, that's how the movies go. I mean, I know there's a babysitter, and all that. Jamie Lee Curtis is in them.
Well, when I think of babysitters, I think back to that that phone horror movie that I could.
Are you talking about like One Missed Call or The Ring?
Neither one of them, I think. I'm thinking of the
Because
one.
The Ring, they're also remaking. That'll be interesting.
No, I'm not thinking of those. I'm thinking of the one that's like the calls coming from inside the house.
Oh my God, what is that?
Yeah, I can't
That's not
remember.
Scream.
No, it's not Scream.
What the hell is that?
But it was originally a very well put together horror film. The problem was the remake was awful. I mean, the remake for
I'm
starters,
Googling while you talk.
the for starters, the remake in the trailer, they go ahead and give you that line I just gave you, which is the only recognizable line from the entire movie.
It's When a Stranger
Yeah, when a
Calls.
stranger calls. And
Yeah, I saw the remake, never saw the original.
okay, well the thing is, like the remake is you already know the twist. Like
Yeah,
even if you don't even know what this movie is, you've probably heard that line before. And it's like, yeah, that's
yeah.
the twist, everybody. So they give you that in the trailer.
In the remake, isn't she in like a glass house, kind
Yeah,
of?
like in
Almost.
the
And there's
top
like the
of it.
guest house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the thing
Yeah,
is,
I remember seeing that.
but it's like what I just the line I just said. That line is in the trailer, so I'm not even spoiling anything when I say that. That is what they give you in the trailer, and that is the only thing in the entire movie that even matters because the entire movie is about building up to that moment. So if you already know the twist, then it's kind of like, why are you even watching this? Now, back when the original came out, now that was an amazing film because nobody knew what the twist was.
That came out in
Yeah.
'79. Yeah.
And so when that one came out, it's like, oh, wow, this is actually a cool little twist there at the end. But the new one, it's like, we already get it. Like I was so certain they were going to do something with the twist to change it, to make it different. But no, they just go the same route. And it's like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. The entire movie's about that hook, that moment, and you just blew it in the trailer. So even if,
Because I remember before I saw it, I do remember hearing that, so I knew from the get go, okay, someone's going to be hunting her down from within the home.
yeah,
It's more like you're just waiting for her to know
right.
more than
And
anything else. That's what you're really waiting for, is for your protagonist to know what the hell's
it's
going
like takes
on.
over an hour to get there. So it's kind of like, you spend the whole time like, okay, no, he's in the house. He's in the house. You can't, no, don't go in the he's in the house.
Honey, he's here. Honey,
So yeah.
honey, has anyone told you he's here? He's already, honey, listen to me.
And again,
But she doesn't listen.
we're not spoiling this. This was in the trailer.
No,
Like this was
no,
what
it's
they
not a
showed
spoiler
you
at all.
in the theatrical
I mean,
trailer.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. But yeah, I don't know. We went off on a tangent on horror movies. I like that. That's good.
Well, what else you got? We got time for one more thing.
Okay, I got some shit. Oh, okay. So we had talked about like expiration dates and shit.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I had something else with that.
Oh Lord.
How would you feel if you knew when you were gonna die?
I've seen that movie.
There's a movie about this?
Yeah, there's a movie where I forget who's in it, but basically these people wear these
What the
wristwatch.
fuck?
Yeah, they wear these wristwatch things on their hand, and you can trade time as currency. So it's like you can walk up and say, okay, well, you want this pack of cigarettes? It's going to cost you 10 weeks. And so,
Oh shit.
yeah, and so you give like you transfer your 10 weeks of your life to that other person to get that pack of cigarettes. And
So
so,
what, do they then gain 10 weeks?
yeah, the person who sold it to you gets 10 weeks. And so this
Oh.
movie, to give you an idea what this movie is about, one day this guy,
Wait, is this Justin Timberlake?
I don't remember who's in it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But the thing is, like, one day he wakes up and he's got this watch and he looks at his watch and suddenly he has like years upon years of life on it and he doesn't know where it came from. And so suddenly he's like a really wealthy person. So that's kind of what the setup of the movie is. But yeah.
Well, how would you feel if you knew? Because the only movie I've seen like that is people that have this thing built into their wrist that tells them when they're going to meet their
I
soulmate.
remember that one.
That one was okay. I thought I was the only one who'd ever seen it. Like, yeah, that movie was interesting.
No, I saw it.
But it tells you when you're going to meet your soulmate.
Right.
And then it can like, yeah, that's the only thing I've ever seen.
Didn't that movie
But
have a
knowing that
terrible
something
ending,
else-
though? Because I don't remember what the ending was. I just remember being like, that's the ending? That's all I remember.
Yeah. Spoiler
Oh,
alert.
okay.
I
What's the
think
name
she
of it?
meets her soulmate and then something happens where her clock starts ticking again.
Uh,
So that's not her soulmate anymore.
so even if she liked him, she would have been like, no.
Right.
Yeah, that's stupid.
It's just it was dumb. That was a dumb. No, but how would you feel if you knew when you were going to die? This doesn't take into account if you randomly run out in front of a bus or something like Final Destination shit, just like your natural occurring death.
Well, I don't know. I think it would definitely change the way everybody lives. I think it would change a lot.
But if it was commonplace, would we
Like,
even care?
well, I mean, here's the thing. Well, probably not. But the thing is, like, if I knew I had 10 more weeks, then I would look at what I have in savings and I'd decide, well, should I quit my job today? Because I don't really need it anymore. I've got enough food and stuff to last me 10 weeks. And then I'd go off and do whatever the hell I wanted to. Go throw up into the life party or what the hell ever. Or I might take a chance on something more likely than not. I might try gambling or whatever. you know,
Ooh, live dangerously,
I'm
Razzle.
just giving like, oh, that's the other thing. Like, I would probably do like a lot of drugs. Like, I wouldn't worry about getting addicted because
Oh my
no, I'm
god.
being serious. Like, I would go out and I would try every addictive drug on the planet just to experience every last one of them because I'm like, well, I'm dead in 10 weeks. So it doesn't matter if I get addicted or not. So, yeah, I mean, I think I would do a lot of things differently. Absolutely. I
I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't know if it would matter to me. I think I would just fall into like crippling depression and anxiety. Even if I had like 50 years, I'd be like, oh my god, what am I gonna do?
No, 50 years is a long time, but the other
I know, but I'd be freaking
well,
out.
you know how
Like,
like some older people are kind of at that point where they just don't give a shit. I feel like that would be the standard norm for whenever you get closer and closer. You'd stop caring about how you come off to people. You would probably show up to pick up groceries, not even worry about your hair or what you're wearing. Just kind of show
already
up,
like
grab
that.
shit, and
Shit.
whatever. And you wouldn't really care about being nice to people. You just kind of like go like, ah, yeah, what the hell ever. Like, have a good day. Oh, fuck you. You wouldn't even
Go
care.
fuck yourself.
It's not because you're mad. It's just because you don't give a shit anymore. I mean, you're like, that's what I think. Though society would be more. Whereas if you have a lot more time, you would be one of those people who would suck up to everybody. Like, hello, how are you today? Ha ha ha. You know, just having a good
Do
old
you
time.
think we'd be a more productive society if we all knew?
More productive? No, I don't think
Like,
we.
do you think we'd be better as a country if we all knew when we were gonna die?
No, I don't think we'd be better because, for the reasons I just said, like if you know exactly when you're going to leave, then the closer and closer you get to that point, the less and less you're going to care. It's kind of like whenever you're leaving a job and you're kind of like, I don't really give a shit about some of the stuff anymore, and that's just life. Or how like that feeling of senioritis whenever you're getting out of high school or whatever. Like it's suddenly you get to this point in high school where you're like, well, I mean, I'm toward the end here. I don't really care anymore. So I'm just kind
Yeah,
of
that was me.
floating.
Yeah. But I think about the situations of like, you got somebody in their 20s or 30s. It's like, oh yeah, I got like another 40 years here. But then like you look at that one 10-year-old kid and then their watch says like, oh yeah, I got 8 months. But they're perfectly healthy. Like nothing's wrong with them. They're fine. But you know that like a child is going to die at 8 months and you don't even know how.
Hmm.
Like that's scary. Like I would put my kid in a panic room.
Yeah.
Like what do you do? Like because you don't know what's gonna happen, but okay, I have a 10-year-old kid here. They're gonna die in 8 months. I don't know how that's gonna happen. Like I think for most people, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, it looks like I'm gonna live to like 70. That's fine. Whatever. That's good. Then you got some kids that are looking at theirs that are like, what? Why is it saying tomorrow? Mom, mom, and mom's just resigned to the whole thing now. She's just sitting there like, don't look at me anymore. Can't do this anymore.
Jesus, why are we ending on this note?
What? Oh, because I don't know. I thought it was interesting.
Did you really have nothing else better than
I did. I
depressing
have
me?
people. I have people smuggling pigeons into prison. Listen, people are smuggling cell phones into prison on pigeons. I don't know how these pigeons know how to get into this place and to these people. I don't know how they've organized this, but there's a major flaw in the system because it's happening. But pigeons are smuggling shit into prison for people.
Oh my
In
God.
case y'all want to know what's happening in our prison systems, pigeon smuggling is happening. PewDiePie's account on Twitter was also suspended.
What, we're just going down a list? What is going on?
Yep. I'm just trying to get away from the child
Well,
death.
I think we're out of the child death territory.
Okay, good. But yeah, PewDiePie's account got suspended because they suspected him to be involved with ISIS because he joked about it.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah, that happened. I wanted to talk about that last podcast real quick because I thought it was stupid. But he was like joking on Twitter with someone saying like, "Oh, something about joining ISIS," and they suspended his account on Twitter. I don't even know if it's back up now because I don't fucking like him.
Of course, of course.
But yeah, pigeon smuggling, man. I'm gonna look into that.
It sounds like a
I,
lucrative career.
I mean, I just don't know how you like. I know pigeons have to be trained, right? Don't they get trained to go from one place to
Well, I would
another?
assume you have to train them somewhat if you're trying to smuggle things into a.
Right. So how are we training these pigeons from one place? Like you would have the pigeon at home, take it to the prison, and be like, "This is where you will send stuff." Like I don't know how you even train pigeons to do
Well, I
this.
mean, obviously there's a lot of money involved in this, so you get paid to do it, so you do it. Like you train pigeons. Like I'm sure there are like tutorials for how to train a fucking pigeon to do something.
There's
So
got to be a YouTube channel about this. I thought it was fucking weird. Yeah, there you go. Y'all got your news. Y'all got some horror stuff, and then my pigeon smuggling. That's that's all we got for you this week. Thank you for listening. You can email us at theprattlecast@gmail.com. You can leave us a message at speakpipe.com/theprattlecast. The episodes are uploaded to YouTube the same time they come out on iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter. You can also follow our personal Twitters at ShakeZillaTV and Razzle_Dazzles. We normally do stream together every week on Friday or Saturdays around 6:30, 7 p.m., but that's kind of not going to happen for like a month because moving, vacations, things happening, but we will be back to that. That will be happening. We will get back on that horse and ride it soon. It will happen. I think that's everything. I will have the links for you guys for the what are they? The Andromeda scripts. If you guys are interested in that at all,
hmm
those will be in here for you. And I think that's everything,
yeah, I
right?
think that's the only thing we mentioned. Yeah.
That's the only thing I didn't know if I was gonna link some other stupid shit like pigeon smuggling. Like I could link you guys some pigeons. But that's all we got for you. We'll see you guys next week. Be nice to